A party was the last thing Mary expected as she approached the tomb that Sunday morning.
To her, the last few days had brought nothing to celebrate.
The Jews could celebrate.
Jesus was out of the way.
The soldiers could celebrate. Their work was done.
But Mary could not celebrate.
To her, the last few days had brought nothing but tragedy. In Celebration by Max Lucado.
Mary had been there. She had heard the leaders clamor for Jesus' blood. She had witnessed the Roman whip rip the skin off his back.
She had winced
as the thorns sliced his brow
and wept at the weight of the cross.
In the early morning mist,
she arises from her mat, takes her spices and aloes, and leaves her house, past the gate of Geneth, and up to the hillside.
A gray sky gives way to gold as she walks up the narrow trail.
As she rounds the final bend,
she gasps. The rock in front of the grave
has been pushed back.
Someone took the body.
She runs to awaken Peter and John. They rush to see for themselves.
Peter comes out of the tomb bewildered,
and John comes out believing. But Mary just sits in front, weeping.
The two men go home and leave her alone with her grief.
But something tells her she is not alone.
Maybe she hears a noise.
Maybe she hears a whisper.
Or maybe she just hears her own heart tell her to take a look for herself.
Whatever the reason,
she does.
She stoops down,
sticks her head into the hewn entrance, and
waits for her eyes to adjust
to the dark.
Why are you crying? She sees what looks to be a man.
But he's white, radiantly white.
They have taken my Lord away, and I don't know where they have put him.
She still calls him
my Lord.
As far as she knows,
his lips were silent.
As far as she knows, his corpse had been carted off by grave robbers.
But in spite of it all,
he is still her Lord. Such devotion moves Jesus.
It moves him closer to her.
So close, she hears him breathing.
She turns, and there he stands.
She thinks he is the gardener.
Why are you crying? Who is it you are looking for?
He doesn't leave her wondering long, just long enough to remind us that he loves to surprise us.
He waits for us
to despair
of human strength, and then intervenes with heavenly.
God waits for us to give up, and then
surprise!
Has it been a while since you let God surprise you?
It's easy to reach the point where we have God figured out. If we push all the right buttons and insert the right data, we know exactly what God does.
Punch in the right number and
bam!
The divine music we want
fills the room. Have you got God figured out?
If so, then
listen. Listen to God's surprises. Hear the rocks, meant for the body of the adulterous woman, drop to the ground. Listen
as the Messiah whispers to the Samaritan woman,
I who speak to you am he.
Listen to the widow from Nain, eating dinner with her son who is supposed to be dead.
Dead. Listen to the surprise as Mary's name is spoken by a man she loved, a man she had buried.
Miriam.
God appearing at the strangest of places.
Doing the strangest of things, calling names in a cemetery.
Mary was shocked. It's not often you hear your name spoken by an eternal tongue, but when she did, she responded correctly.
She worshipped him. The scene has all the elements of a surprise party. Secrecy, wide eyes, amazement, gratitude.
But this celebration is timid in comparison with the one that is being planned for the future.
It will be similar to Mary's, but a lot bigger.
Many more graves will open.
Many more names will be called.
Many more knees will bow. And many more seekers will celebrate. It's going to be some party.
I plan to make sure my name is on the guest list.
How about you? no eye has seen,
no ear has heard,
no mind has conceived.
what God has prepared for those who love him.